was probably the worst experience of my life. It was a very long and grueling 25 days. At that point in time, I never dreamed that I would be able to come up here to Morgantown and even do this type of interview. But I will say, after having what I went through, there's no question about getting the shots. Hi there, I'm Jimmy Marino, Mayor of Clarksburg. January of 2021. I was out on a Friday night. My wife had gotten a flat tire, and it was kind of cold and damp January evening. The next day, I got up. It was on a Saturday, and I felt like I had a flu or cold. I blamed it on her having me fix the tire. Kind of felt bad the weekend, and went to a quick care clinic. They performed a rapid test on me, and it was positive. So I stayed at home, and I thought I would just fight it. It was a bad flu. About Friday, my oxygen levels, they were going below 90. They were in the 80s, and my breathing started deteriorating. So I went to the ER to get checked. And when I went there, based on my oxygen levels and so forth, they admitted me into the hospital. Stayed in there for about a week, but I was getting worse as the time went on. They were treating me with steroids, and the steroids were kind of messing with my sugar levels. I'm diabetic. About Friday, I really start my oxygen levels. They had me on high flow oxygen, and the oxygen levels weren't very good in my body. And I got to the point where they had to transfer me down into intensive care. In the evening, they were putting a BiPAP machine on me, and it felt like I was suffocating. And so as they were putting that BiPAP machine, I was kind of fighting it. My heart felt like it actually jumped out of its chest, and it just started beating like crazy, and I went into AFib. And I can remember hearing the nurses saying, you know, we're going to have to intubate him and put him on a ventilator. And that was a pretty scary feeling. They kept working me, and thank God they did. And finally I took to the BiPAP machine, and so I was able to rest and get some sleep. My heart went back into sinus rhythm. They gave me some medications, so I made it through that, thank heavens. Which it was touch and go there for quite some time. They moved me back up onto the regular COVID floor. When I left after 25 days, I still had to have oxygen at my house. I had it 24 hours a day. I slept with it. I couldn't even get out of bed and go to my bathroom or downstairs to the kitchen without having portable oxygen. And when I was in the hospital, not only the physicalness of this COVID, there's a mental aspect of it too. I know at nighttime, when they would get ready to put the BiPAP machine on me, I would start to have anxiety, and I didn't know what it was at that time. I just knew that this wasn't right. I wasn't able to sleep and so forth. And you know, being in the hospital without any family, my wife couldn't come, my children, so it was pretty isolated, and you're all alone. And you know, when you're going through this, I really didn't have an appetite, and with that, I lost about 25 pounds and a lot of muscle. I've had both of my shots and my booster, and you know, I never want to push my agenda or my way of thinking on people, but I will say that if you haven't had your shot, that you should consider it. It is, you know, the percentage of people that are getting it and dying from it, as they would say, were low. But if you're in that low percentage, as I was, you sure don't want to end up on the other side. To be safe, to have all the precautions that you could take, such as the vaccine, I don't see why you wouldn't want to have that protection, because honestly, I wouldn't want anybody, any of my family members or just anybody to go through the experience I went through.